One of the great things about going to exhibitions and conferences is what you find on the periphery of the events themselves. I'm down in Wuzhen attending an internet conference, but to be perfectly honest, what really floats my boat is the town itself, and in particular the West area. It's been arranged that all invited guests to the conference can attend a special performance of Chinese opera in the theatre, which looks pretty nice in the schematic, but I can't say that it looks particularly appealing in the cold light of day. But at night time it comes alive with lighting used to great effect. The performance is called The Heavenly Beauty, and is an integration of a number of different types of Chinese opera, including Peking, Kunchu, Yue, Shaoxing, Diaoxiang, Shanxi, Wuzhu, Sichuan, and Rantan operas. As part of the show, there's a focus on the 5 major types of roles in Chinese opera: the clown, the main female protagonist as well as vivacious and unmarried women, the ghost, the main female and male, and the fairy tale in military form. Chinese opera, or shichu, has roots going back to ancient China. It's an amalgamation of various art forms, such as music, song and dance, martial arts, acrobatics, as well as literary art forms, that reached its maturity in the 13th century during the Song dynasty. According to Wikipedia, Chinese operas exist in 368 different forms, the best known being Peking opera, which assumed its present form in the mid-19th century and was extremely popular in the latter part of the Qing dynasty, which lasted from 1644 to 1911. Exaggerated paint on opera performers' faces, which ancient warriors decorated themselves with to scare the enemy, are used in the opera. Each colour has a different meaning and are used to symbolize a character's role or fate and illustrate the character's emotional state and general character. For instance, white symbolizes sinister, evil, crafty, treacherous and suspicious. Any performer with a white painted face usually takes the part of a villain of the show. The larger the white painted area, the crueler the role. Green denotes impulsive behavior, violence, no self-restraint or self-control. Red stands for bravery or loyalty. Black denotes boldness, fierceness, impartiality and roughness. Yellow symbolizes ambition, fierceness or intelligence. Blue stands for steadfastness, someone who's loyal and sticks to his principles no matter what, while pink symbolizes sophistication and cool-headedness. The show opens with a stage full of performers showing off some of the amazing costumes to great effect. Through the use of captioned surtitles, we're told that the fancy costumes of Chinese opera are made with manual embroidery. It is filled with gold silk, which is very fabulous. It's certainly that. The evening is split into 5 chapters. The first is called The Zither and the Sword, Chinese traditional melodic and percussion instruments. After the somewhat quiet start, things begin to take on a more dramatic turn with an extract from Shaoxing opera, Monkey Subdues the White Skeleton Lady. Shaoxing opera, also known as Yue opera, is the second most popular opera form and features actresses in male roles, as well as femininity in terms of singing, performing and staging. Monkey Subdues the White Skeleton Lady is based on an episode from The Pilgrimage to the West, a mythological novel by Wu Cheng'en, which has had a wide appeal among Chinese readers since its appearance in the 16th century. In front of me, a girl from Xinhua News Agency is streaming the entire performance onto a Facebook channel via her smartphone. I'm told that if you're interested, you should still be able to see the recording of this evening's event stored for posterity on Facebook. Now we're treated to some Wuzhu opera, which is a form of Chinese opera from Jinhua in the eastern province of Zhejiang. There are apparently 11 Wuzhu troupes in eastern China, and it's characterized by 6 well-known tunes and a way of singing with dominant instruments. Next, it's time for some Peking opera, or Jingju, which combines music, vocal performance, mime, dance and acrobatics. It arose in the late 18th century and became fully developed and recognized by the mid-19th century. Extremely popular in the Qing dynasty court, traditional Chinese string and percussion instruments provide a strong rhythmic accompaniment to the acting, which is based on illusion through gestures, footwork and other body movements to express such actions as riding a horse, rowing a boat or opening a door. Spoken dialogue is in the form of recitative and colloquial speech, the former employed by serious characters and the latter by young females and clowns. The traditional repertoire of Beijing opera includes more than 1,000 works, mostly taken from historical novels about political and military struggles. Taizhuo Luan is the local opera of Zhejiang, described as simple and warm. Yan Pokshi is a story about a pair of lovers taken from The Water Margin, one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. In complete contrast, Jinqiang opera from Shanxi in northwest China is rough and loud. Zhao Guiyang tells a legendary revenge story of a Chinese ancient heroine and uses a bangzi, or woodblock, as one of the accompanying instruments, from which it derives its other name, bangzi opera. The third chapter of the evening represents everlasting love in the form of famous love stories of Chinese opera. Peking opera's The Matchmaker is considered one of the masterpieces of the Shun style. The Matchmaker, we're told, is an essence opera that witnesses all changes of Chinese cultural forms. The characters in the opera are now considered as symbols of love and marriage by the Chinese people. Kunchu opera is next, with The Peony Pavilion, a play written in the Ming dynasty and first performed in 1598 at the pavilion of Prince Tun. It was the most popular play of the Ming dynasty, and all Kun theatre troupes include it in their repertoire. Chapter 4 features military plays. Martial arts in Chinese opera are filled with many trick stunts, such as turning the beat, juggling, and scenes of bustling activity. Some of it is visually spectacular, while some can be quite dangerous, such as fire-eating or fire-spraying or blowing fire, as it's also known. Bianbian, literally face-changing, is an ancient Chinese dramatic art that is part of the more general Sichuan opera. Performers wear brightly coloured costumes and move to quick, dramatic music. They also wear vividly coloured masks, typically depicting well-known characters from the opera, which they change from one face to another almost instantaneously with a swipe of a fan, a movement of the head, or a wave of the hand. Changing masks is a magic trick that is closely guarded by its practitioners. But having said that, it's widely believed that there are 4 main ways of face-changing that are used. Blowing dust, where the actor blows black dust hidden in his palm or close to his eyes, nose or mouth, so that it obscures his face. Beard manipulation, where beard colours can be changed while it's being manipulated, from black to grey and finally to white, expressing anger or excitement. Pulling down masks, where the actor can pull down a mask which has previously been hidden on top of his head, changing his face to red, green, blue or black to express happiness, hate, anger or sadness respectively. Face dragging, where the actor drags grease paint hidden in his sideburns or eyebrows across his face to change his appearance. It's certainly spectacular to watch. Another spectacular thing to watch is flat teeth play, also known as playing tusks or shuaya, teeth playing. Teeth playing requires performers to use 8 or 10 canine teeth taken from male pigs, usually 5 to 6 centimeters long, in their mouths. Apparently, it's extremely difficult to do, and very few have mastered this art form. Playing tusks is mainly used in Ninghai opera, which is one of the oldest opera forms in Zhejiang province. It was on the first National Intangible Cultural Heritage List announced by the Ministry of Culture in May 2006. With a history dating back 4 centuries, it enjoys an equal reputation with face-changing in Sichuan drama. Together, they're known as Face in the West and Tusk in the East. 4 steps are involved when playing tusks: biting, licking, gulping, and disgorging. Actors play tusks flexibly and quickly in their mouths to create cruel and greedy images on stage. I have to admit that before this special performance I had little idea about the different genres of Chinese opera, despite occasionally watching the Chinese Opera channel on CCTV 11. But now I'm definitely a fan.